Hi everyone, it's Crappy Kathy here, and as you can see, I have a mess on my desk. I'm doing day 15 of our road trip, and I have a lot of photos. I'm doing both sides of the double page layout that I just did the right side of over the weekend, and this is the alpha I'm going to use. I have some punched circles and some metal stuff for the Mind the Scrap challenge. I have alcohol inks, which have no business here because I used them on the last layout. I'm not using them on this one. Let's see, where do we begin? I have kind of picked out the orange paper is going to be the bridge between the two. I don't know which side that's going to go on and the alphas are going to go on, but we'll see. I'm just going to start by gluing this down, and I'm going to decide where to glue it by the location of the orange bit. I've got flowers here. I have a mess. Again, I'm going to stitch on it off camera after I'm done, but let me put these together. It doesn't, there's not any particular measurement, I think, that's needed, except this needs to be right up against the end here. Maybe like so. Let me make sure that's at the edge. And then I'm gonna, just to be sure that this one matches. Okay, and I've got things, I'm a little bit frazzled. I bet I'm going to run out of adhesive. I ran out of printer ink. Okay, so there's the start. This one's going to have 3 photos kind of in the order that we saw these things or did these things during the day. I have this same metal brad that I'm going to put on. Okay, so this now is going to overlap that by a little because I want to leave a nice margin. And I picked this blue paper because there's a lot of blue in the photos, and it has little wildflowers on it. Let me see if that is right. And it's just really pretty. And so I cut the circles out of that same pattern paper. A lot of the photos I have here well, all the floral photos are wildflowers that were growing alongside the road or at attractions. There was quite a nice garden at the Sea Glass Museum we stopped in. So I didn't put any foam behind those, but I will behind these. And again, that's probably something I should have done before we started. But I can, while I'm cutting this, I can tell you a little bit about this. I said erroneously in the last video that we spent the night in Eureka. And I said that because I had a photo or a screenshot of a search for laundromats in Eureka. And in fact, I did search for laundromats in Eureka, but we stayed in a town called Willits, and that's where we actually went to the laundromat. We couldn't make Eureka before dark. Eureka was way up there, getting close to Oregon. And then, and so we were in Willits, and well, let's see. Oh, some of these, I cut out some signs. I printed them really small and then cut them out so that I could use them as embellishments. I don't know how well that's going to work. I've done it in the past, but I'm not sure how this page is going to shape up. I'm going to have a cluster there and a cluster here and then one here, and the title, I had thought the title would go on the orange, but I think it's going to go on the white space up there. So anyway, we got up, we woke up in Willits, and there were lots of coffee places, and I have signs here. This sign is from the best name for a coffee place I've ever seen, Brewed Awakening. So that was awesome. And at a different coffee shop, there was this sign that said, "Friends don't let friends go to Starbucks. It's Deaf Dog Coffee." So I thought those were funny. I took photos of them through the windshield. And then this was one that says entering tsunami hazard zone, which was not a comforting thought. And by the way, on this day, we did travel along the coast, and I did take a lot of photos of the ocean and the coastline, the rugged coastline. But it was a very dreary kind of day on the coast. These photos had much better light and were much fun. When we started out, the first place we went, kind of a ball of twine sort of place, it was this, and I've got these kind of down a little from where they should be. So it was this sea glass museum, and it was amazing. It was really beautiful. There was a lot of recovered sea glass, and so there was a lot of history about shipwrecks and things like that. And then a dream come true since second grade, when I saw it in Weekly Reader, when in California you could drive through trees. Here's the drive-through tree, the chandelier tree, and this is what it looks like. Can you see both of? Yeah, I guess you can see both pages. This is what it looks like from afar. That's what the tree looks like. And it looks like the hole is really small, but my Prius went through it just fine, and that's me waving. John stood and took the picture and let me drive through, because we wouldn't have had a picture if we'd both been in it. And these are there were a lot of trees that were cut down around it to make the pathway for people to drive. It was a very, very long line to get through there. And so to amuse you, you could kind of get out of your car and walk around. These are carved, these little bears playing, looks like bears playing on tree stumps. They're carved out of the tree that used to be there. So that's amazing art, and of course beautiful flowers. These foxgloves were growing wild out there, and I took this with my phone and took this one with my DSLR camera, my Canon, which I don't use much anymore. And these were berries. We actually ate some. So I remember posting something on Facebook saying something about that was our lunch. Let's see what we're going to do with these guys. I don't know if I want to do scenes. I could do scenes right here. And then I can find some little tiny letters that say from the, and then road trip. And I think that might be good. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to that. I was going to do road trip scenes, but I haven't left myself enough room here for road trip to fit. So my decision was made for me. And I'm going to put this kind of right at the top, but with the P hanging over. And it's far enough over that I can find some letters to say from A. I'm not going to do that on this video because I haven't picked those little alphas out. I didn't think ahead to that being a possibility. Okay, so I want to, let me do scenes just for the heck of it. This is the Where to Next alpha, and it's gorgeous, and I should be hoarding it, but I love it and want to use it. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to overlap by using a dot. Nope, the dot's too big. Okay, well, I'm going to have to throw that whole thing away. I will use some of this on that C. On something that's stuck on my finger that won't come off. And there, I'm going to kind of alternate these. Okay, and then E will go under and up. And in, put that aside here. I'm sorry, I have such a mess, and I'm not doing anything to clean it up until I finish some of the videos. I'm trying to work ahead to get everything done for when I'm gone. Okay, and then another E that sits down. And then S. And I'm gonna try to put those, I'm gathering rather a large collection of things on the floor, which I hate, but I will eventually get it cleaned up. My goal is to have all the pages done today, which is Monday, and tomorrow, which is Tuesday, because Wednesday we have all the festivities to Barrett's going away party and dinner and spending time with him and so forth. And then Thursday I'll be packing for my trip, and Friday I'm leaving. So I'll be on the road Friday through Monday. I'm desperately going to try to get back in time. I'm going to get this off the table. I just wanted to show you, I printed those photos of the signs, and I cut the signs out. I cut the backgrounds out from around the signs. Didn't know if you'd be interested in that or not. Okay, so now let's go. I may build the cluster here and this one kind of in the middle. So let me get some of these. Gosh, that doesn't belong in there, but it's cute. I'll get some of the individual leaves, but I want to get some of these berries because there were berries. I have a photo with berries. I kind of want to include some of those. And then I want to get leaf sprigs because the sketch has a couple of leaf sprigs. And then there are some tiny flowers I kind of want to do, use some of those. It would have been good to do some of this beforehand, but you know me, I'm just too busy. I was just too busy. So I definitely want to use this orange, and I want one of these purplish ones here. And then there's kind of a reddish there. I'm going to try to arrange those in there somehow. And I've got leaf sprigs kind of gathered over here. And I have a tiny little green car. And of course, I'm also trying to work in these signs. This was a beer that we got. It was from a local brewery in Fort Bragg. And where's the other sign? There we go. We have two of them here. I'm not sure where I'm going to use those. Not sure I'm going to use those. I think I will use this here, or maybe here as part of this cluster. And so let's pick the flowers for that cluster. I'm going to go aqua and this kind of pretty pink, and then I'm going to get this orangey reddish, and I'll kind of put that there. And down here I want to go the teal blue and the yellow. Do I want the daisy looking yellow? I think I'll go with this yellow because it has such different shaped petals. I'm not a fan of these roundy ones, but I also want to put kind of a red one in there. And then for small flowers to be scattered around, let me, I've got, those are magnetic, or my iPad is magnetic, and they were stuck to it. Yeah, there's some hearts that I'm gonna substitute flowers. And there's one kind of here, so probably it should have a contrasting one. I don't have a blue flower in that batch, so that's going to be my loose flower there. And then there's one up here. I don't have an orange one there, so I'll put an orange flower there. And I don't have a purple one here, so I'll put a purple one there. Now, I'm going to put all these guys away, and I'm going to see how I can work those circles in. I have to have a circle on each page to get the points for each page. And I'm going to just add in leaves willy-nilly as I feel like it. And that goes there. Okay. Oops. I found another circle. So I'm going to start with the circle here. Kind of just glued down there. And then I'm going to start mounting flowers on foam dots. And I'll do that, kind of overlapping the photo cluster. And I'll put that one there. And I think I'm going to put this one up here instead of down there because I don't want to hide the circle. And it also gives me a place to put the little car. And then I'm also going to put this guy on a small dot just down here. And I'm going to glue this guy in, kind of like so, so that you can still see that that circle is there. And that's it. It's very important that that circle show because it's the only one on that page. Now this one is going to have a circle here and a circle here. And I want to add some greenery to this. Maybe not that kind. Maybe a little shorter and wider spread. Okay, that's good. I'm going to put that on there, and I will put a little bit of a little foam dot to hold it up from the page to give it dimension. And I have to tilt it a little bit so that it fits in the page protector. And then if I have any single leaf sprigs, which I know there were some in here, I'm going to put one here. And I've got room here for a little bit of journaling. I won't do it during this video, but I am going to type something up. Okay, this page is done except for the Brad, and I kind of want it here like associated with the car. Maybe I will kind of overlap it there. So I'm going to make the hole. Let's see, how can I do this? I should be able to I'm going to move this over on top of my foam stitching pad which I use to, and I'm going to put the hole right there, and now I'll try to get that brad fed into the hole. And it overlaps the photo panel, which is what I wanted. All right. And I may put a little glue down to hold that. So that page is pretty much done. I don't think I'm going to do anything more there. Maybe, how about if I put that there, I'm going to and I will put it on a strip to hold it up, and I'll put it by that flower. Why not? I love the freshness of the orange polka dot. I just love it. And the fact that there's purple, and in the photos, so there goes the block for my journaling. And that's okay, because in a way, this Brood Awakening sign is part of my journaling. So I'm done with that page. I'm going to put it aside and hope it doesn't fall down, because that's one thing I do not want on the floor. Okay, now let's go over to this page. Let me first figure out where the arrow is going to be, and I'll punch the hole. I'll keep these kind of up here, move these down here. These are to go there. I'm going to maybe put it like right here. There's not going to be much else. There will be a flower cluster here and a flower cluster there. So let me punch the hole like so. And feed this through. I have trouble. I've got fumble fingers when it comes to trying to fold those prongs so that I can get them through. Okay, so that's done. And like I said, let me put a little bit of glue right there to hold it in position. I'll lift it up with tweezers and get it over there. And these came in a Mind the Scrap kit. I think they went with the Where To Next, or not Where To Next, but Let's Wander. So that was the last travel collection, the previous travel collection that Vicki Boutin did. Okay, so now let's do the flowers that were going to go up here were these. And I'm going to put the circle there and let it kind of underlap the P there. And then I'll build the flowers around it so that you'll be able to see it. And so I wanted to use this one. I'll go here. And then this one with the leaves, we'll kind of go here. The beer, it's Brothers Thelonious, and I looked it up, and I think I can actually order some. I shouldn't. I don't. In fact, I think we did, when we got back, order some and gave it to James. We ordered it for him, and he loved it, and I think we should. John wasn't a beer drinker, and I have AFib, so, and alcohol is a trigger, so I have no business myself. And occasionally I'll have the odd sip of champagne, and kind of know it's not that it endangers my life. It just it makes the symptoms more pronounced, and that keeps me from sleeping and stuff like that. So I don't. Okay, there. And I think I may want something on here, so I may look for a small flower and cut it in half. I don't want to use this orange one because, oh, you know what? Here's where I'll use some of these berries. And I kind of like these. Okay, you can still see that circle is there. All right, now let's go down to this flower cluster, and I'm going to put the circle kind of over this way because the cluster is going to be built. Well, no, I'll put the circle this way and the cluster will be built that way. I guess that makes more sense. Oh, how I love building flower clusters. It's like landscaping my scrapbook page. Let's do this kind of right overlapping those two photos. It's not gonna hurt anything. Don't want to put that right there. We'll see. I could even put it right here. I like that. And I'm just going to glue it down. Not going to bother putting it on any foam, because the way it's cut, it kind of has, and then I think I still have the little tsunami sign, and I'll put that in this cluster somewhere. Okay, so that goes there. This goes kind of here. And I'll add this one. Over the blue, but under the yellow. And I'm going to do the purple berries here. there. Fussing with that. And I'm going to do this one here. That little guy there. And I will see if I can find some, like, kind of like this here. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to pull the other one up because I don't think I used. And did I have a small leaf? Not going to worry with the leaf on that. But I will do one of these large leaves. Maybe coming down like that. We'll put a dot here to raise it up. I want it to go almost to the bottom of the page, and then I'm going to do another one with these rounded leaves to kind of go up there, and I'm going to glue it on top of the photo. There we go. And do I have... I didn't use any berries on this page, so I'm going to do this. I've got plenty of room for it down there in my former journaling block space. Do that. And I was going to use this over in this area. I think I'm going to have it sticking out from that tiny little flower there. Entering tsunami hazard zone. It didn't look, I suppose that's nothing to joke about, but I just wasn't. It's one of those warning signs, like when I was in Alaska, I used to laugh at the moose crossing signs, but Lord knows how much damage moose that came into town, and moose often do come into town because their habitat and food supply are dwindling. So they come into town and cause traffic jams and run into cars and things like that. So, okay, let's see what these two pages look like together. I'm going to put the pen in the glue and assume I'm done with it. Let's see. I'm going to try to get these on here so that you can see that both of them. Is there maybe a little room there? I've got something in the way. Let me get that out of the way and this out of the way. All these things out of the way. Now what I'm probably going to do for stitching is down here close to the seam, I'm going to stitch a few stitches looking like it's holding this orange block onto the white paper, and I'll do the same thing here underneath the lettering that goes there. So I think we have a complete page. And to tell you a little bit, that's the chandelier tree. These are berries that were on the side of the road where we stopped to get when our Fitbits went off and reminded us it was time to walk. We'd stop the car if you know, if it made sense to do so. And then we got out and did our steps. Let me glue this one down to, and these were some berries. If there were, it was anything that looked like hiking trails or anything like that, we would take those. And I think it was down one of those hiking trails where we saw these foxgloves. And then this was kind of under some structure. It was peeking out just masses of purple flowers. And these were, they have to be a wild version of a bottle brush plant. And I know what that is. I actually had some growing in my yard by the pool that we had in Houston in the woodlands. I think this is crooked, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And I think I have some Nouveau drops or enamel dots or something that might be able to add sprinkles to these clusters, but I think I'm liking the clean look of the white, and I kind of debated whether to do any mixed media behind it, and I'm glad I decided not to. That crisp white with all those beautiful cocoa vanilla flower colors just look great. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow on day 16. Bye.